Hello everyone, it's Amy and welcome back for week 186 of Build Your Stash and Craft. Today we're going to play with flowers, and a very cheap way to get flowers is to harvest them from some other place. Instead of just going and buying little packets of flowers, you get a dozen for $1 or, a couple dozen for $5 or whatever. And, to me that's kind of expensive. So you can buy, like bunches of flowers and take the flowers off of there. And but a really good way to get flowers, and I saw this from Chris Wilson's channel, and I will try and link her video below. If I don't, please remind me, and then I'll put that link on there. But and I've done this a long time ago when I was looking for a 5-petal flower to do something with, and I couldn't find any on any bunches. I couldn't find them at the store. They were 6 petals or more or 4 or whatever, and I needed a 5-petal flower, and the only place I found them was on a lei. So I had bought them then to make butterflies, and so and it's something that I really had forgot about, and I thought this would be a great way to get a lot of flowers in our stash. So thank you very much, Chris. That was really great to see your video where you were harvesting flowers from leis. And so all you do is I just open that up and I clipped the string. And then you are going to wind up with just tons of flowers. Now this one's really kind of cool because it has these really cool little bits on it. And you can use that almost exactly like it is. You can put some things on it, but you can just string it through and hang it on a dangle. So those are very cool. And I just grabbed some little containers to keep the bits in. On the other ones, they just had little plain white tubes, and you can use those as a base to make your own paper beads, regular beads. You can paint them just like they are. You can use permanent markers on them, and use them for beads. So that's just a really good thing to do with those. Keep them. You never know when you might need them for something. And we're just going to throw all of these right in to... Let's see, where's our thing there? Just gonna, and you'll get to a point where the knot is in the string. So then you just go the other way. And even, I rolled up my string and kept that because you never know when you might need a piece of string and you don't have one. So it doesn't hurt to keep those. And so we'll just get them all off of there. And when I did the other two, the big yellow ones, I know I got over 60 and then I lost count and I wasn't going to go back and count them. And then over here was the other lei that I took apart, and there is a dozen of these 6 colors. So we have 72 of those, and we have string and we have tubes. And so this was just a really great way to really get some supplies for your stash. These are really fun. And like I said, if you can't find leis, you don't have to have a lei, but this is a good time of year to get them. And but you can just harvest your little flower bits off of regular, flowers on a stem. And some of them, oh no, this one, nope, it's folded. I thought it was cut. Some of them you're going to find are kind of folded up and a little bit messy. All you have to do is just, you can iron them if you want to. If you have a hair straightener, that works great for ironing ribbon and for ironing things like this. But if you don't have an iron or a hair iron, whatever they call that, hair straightener, you can just put them to the ones that are messy, put them together and stick them under a heavy book. And that way they'll flatten out in time. So, see, like that one there, we'll just put that upside down. And I'm not going to sort all the colors right this second, but that's usually what I do, because then when I'm making a certain project and I think I need something green, well, then I can just go grab, a green flower. And sometimes when I sort things, when I store things, sometimes I store them by color. Like I might put a bunch of like green flowers, green beads, green paper, like all in one area. And that way, when I'm doing something, and I know I need something green, but I don't know what I want, I can go to that area and I can just kind of test out. Do I want beads? Do I want flowers? What is it that I want that's green? You know, do I want some green ribbon? And so I do like to have, you know, some things put together like that. I don't put everything together like that. You know, I have spots where I just have all flowers and that type of thing. So I think these are orange, but we'll just pop them on top of the yellow. Didn't I say I wasn't going to sort these all? But I am going to pull out all the little, get all those out of there. And they're going to fill that little container. But yeah, see, these are just really cool. I like these. That's the reason I bought this one. I had another one that definitely had a different style flower. I was going to see if these were exactly the same as these. Not quite. These are a touch bigger. That's what I thought when I bought them. I actually thought they were more. I thought there was a bigger difference than that, but I think that's our last one of those. So we'll just set those aside. And I'm just going to move these aside. But so what do you do with flowers? Well, you can take them. Oh, I don't have a journal here. But if you had a journal and you have, you know, your page on your journal, you can take your flowers, glue half of them onto your page, and then when you close your journal, I really need a book to do this because it will show it better. Okay, so if this is our journal, we can just take this, glue it onto our page, and then it will stick out of our journal like this. Now, if you don't like it being that floppy, which I like them being, you know, I like the movement on them, but if you don't like it being like that, you can put a piece of paper behind it so that it's stiffer. And you don't have to leave your flowers all floppy like that. And, or you can use your flowers to just make other flowers. Just take them and layer them together. A few colors maybe, or even maybe a bunch of the same color, just so that they're very fluffy. Like if you know, like if you were to take quite a few of these and put them together, you would have a really nice, and you could even kind of put them together like this. And look, there, you've got a carnation. Look at that. Wasn't that quick and fast? So, so there's so many things you can do with them. With a 5-petal flower, they make really cute butterflies. And to make a butterfly with a 5-petal flower, let me get these away from my glue gun here. All you do is I just put a little bit of glue across the top of one petal and then just fold it in. Now, if this is, you know, be careful not to burn yourself with your glue gun. We did buy a spatula that I lost, so I don't have it. And then I just, it's a little bit long down here. I really don't want it hanging down that far, so I'm going to cut it off. But I do leave it like that. You know, I leave it to come down to where the petals split, because that just gives me a little bit of stability in the center of my butterfly. So I'm going to be back in just a second, and I'll show you how we finish that. Okay, I am back. And so what we've done is we folded one petal of a 5-petal flower backwards like this, and we're going to put just a little touch of hot glue on there just to glue that down. I don't know if I got it on there or not. Yep. Okay, and then what we're going to do is I just grabbed out you know, some of our little blingy bits here, and I just cut off one little strip. 1, 2, 3, it's 6 pieces long. And then for antennas, I usually use wire, but I had pulled this out to make some of our flowers with, and it was, you know, it's kind of shedding here a little bit. And so I just pulled a little piece of this one off and just fold it in half. We'll just do it with this one because this is a little shorter. That one I had was a little long. Okay, so just a little piece of this. Just fold it in half. Give yourself kind of a little V right here at the bottom. And then we're going to put just a touch of hot glue right there on the V. See, this is what it looks like. I'm going to put just a touch of hot glue right there. And then we're just going to stick our bit of bling right to it so that then we have antennas. So now we have our little antennas on our body. And of course we don't want them to stand up straight like this, so we're going to hold on to it while we do this part. And I just touched it right there to the back of that. We're going to hold on to that and then just grab a hold of the antenna and just kind of give it a little bit of a curl. If you just run your fingers down it, just like when you do curling ribbon, it will curl. And so there we go. Now we have the antennas on our little body. And we're just going to put this on here. I got hot glue hanging off of it here somewhere. There we go. So we're going to put it on here. We're going to leave the little head stick up above the top, and then the body will hang down. So we're just going to put some glue probably on the next 3, because the body is a little bit longer than where the gap of the wings are. So we don't want to put glue on that part of it. We're just going to kind of line it up in the middle. Being careful not to burn yourself with the hot glue gun. And there we go. So now we have our pretty little butterfly. He's got little antennae, and we can use that on any type of a project. So those are just, I think that they're really cute. I like the way that they turn out. And it's a really easy way to make a butterfly without having to do a whole bunch of fiddling, trying to figure out your wings. So that's one thing that we can do with our flowers. We can take our flowers, let's see here, we'll just punch out a piece of paper or cardstock. What do I have here that we can use? All right, we're going to do something else first. First, we will do this one. Alrighty, so the one thing I like to do with my flowers is I like to put a background stamp on them. Now, we don't really have a real background stamp for our series, so we're going to just improvise. And I pulled out a piece of burlap, and I am just going to put some. We have our other little, we have all of our Hampton stamps, and we have our homemade stamps, but our homemade stamps are quite large, and the Hampton stamps are too much of a picture. We just want something just to give it a little extra interest on the background. So I'm just going to kind of pick up a little bit of ink with this. Probably going to get it all over my hands. And then just press it onto our flower. Not quite as impressive as I thought. Actually, that doesn't look too bad. Usually what I really like to do, that looks really good. I do like that. I usually use like the cursive writing stamps to do that. But actually, when you look at this, it actually looks like one of those little writings. I don't know. I can't think of what you call them, but you know what I'm talking about. The background stamps that just have a bunch of cursive writing on them, and you just stamp them around randomly. So I like the way that looks. So you can do it like that. And then, whoops, we still need our stays on. You just put a little bling in the center, or, layer a few of them up however you want to. I wanted to put a little bling in the center. I wanted to put this little gem in the center, but I thought, well, I didn't want it plain. So what I am going to do is I like this flower right here. So I'm going to ink up that flower. And then carefully set my gem on top of it right where I want it. You can kind of see through it to get it where you want it. Give it a little bit of a press, let it sit for just a second, and then make sure that you pick it straight up so you don't smudge it. Now I'm gonna flip it over. It flipped itself over, thank goodness. And I'm gonna let that sit there for just a minute so that it has a chance to dry, and then we're gonna put that right on there. While that's drying, I'm going to take, this is just a piece of packaging. I bought something makeup brushes that I bought at the Dollar Tree. I got one for this series, this one, that you can use to smooth things around. But what I'm going to do is, I want to use this packaging, but I don't want this on the top. So I'm going to cut that off. Probably right about there. It's pretty straight. And then I want to round those corners so that they're like the other. And just put that on there. There we go. Kind of messed that up a little bit. I've been doing that a lot lately. Okay, so now we have this extra piece to throw away, which we're not going to throw it away because I want a piece of cardboard. And just use our circle punch, and we can punch out a couple circles. And it doesn't matter what's on there because we just want the circles because that's a nice hard background. This is going to go on there. Move that aside for right now. And another way to make flowers is you just take your pre-made flowers, and instead of just stacking them up like that to get a fluffier flower, you just fold them. So we're just going to fold this in half. Instead of trying to line the petals up exactly, I'm going to offset them. So they're like half and half. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue right here and then fold it in half again. So now it looks like that. And then we're just going to take that and we'll put it on this side. Put a little bit of hot glue and just press that right on there. And then just do that again until your flower gets as full as you're going to want it. Again, I'm going to offset the petals just a little bit. They don't have to be exactly half or anything. And if you want them to totally line up, you can do that. You can fold it in half so that they line up. So we'll put one on that side, and then we'll put one on this side. And again, these can be filled in as full as you want them. We probably won't be making real full ones right now just because of the fact that we're doing quite a few things right now, and I want to get through them. Again, we're going to fold it in half and then fold it in half again. And we're going to put this one right here, like this. They don't have to be exact because we're going to put one more layer on top. So then again, fold it in half, a little bit of glue, and then fold it in half again. And we're going to put this one right here. Now, depending on what you're going to use it for, this might be as full as you want it. You can just take it and put a center in it. At that point, I would have glued them closer together, so that it was a full flower. But I thought we would do 2 layers, so that's why I left that little gap there. So we'll just, and it really, this does not take long at all. Oh, and on the top layer, I'm going to cheat here a little bit. On the top layer, usually before I fold it in half the first time, I put a little glue in the center. The bottom layer I don't really bother because I'll mess with that later. Let's do this again. Okay, so now before I fold it in half, I'm going to put a little glue here so it doesn't pop up. The bottom layer I don't mind if it pops up a little bit because we're going to get another layer on top, and that just makes it fluffier. So could possibly, it stands up a little tall. So fold it in half, and then fold it in half again. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to offset it. So where the line is where you can see through them, that's where this one is going to cover that up. Just like that. And brought it in just a little bit towards the center. Not really any further. Okay, we just need a few more of these. Alrighty. A little bit in the middle. Fold it in half. A little bit right there in the middle. Fold it in half. And they do have little rubber fingertips at the Dollar Tree now. I noticed those. I should have got some of those. So if you're hot glue, and this, some glue guns are really hot and some glues are not really hot. Now this one, I am going to line these kind of up with each other. I'm going over that line, but trying to bring those two a little closer together. But yes, you can, for $1, you can get little fingertips. Not sure how many are in the package, but so that you don't touch anything that you've put your hot glue on. And they're silicone. I think that's what do they call that? I think it's silicone. So they're like non-stick, so they don't stick to your project when you press your stuff down. Okay, so I put one there and I put one there. I need one here. Normally the way you would do it is I put one here, then put one over there, and then do those two sides. You usually don't make your way around. It looks better if you go across and across. It winds up being more even. Okay, so here's our last one. That's two. Put a little bit in the middle. And there's my last line right there. So that one's going to go right there. Just like that. Isn't that pretty? And, you know, and then the circle on the bottom holds them together. It also gives you some place to put glue if you want to glue it onto a project. Now, you can make that even fuller by maybe just taking a couple more and kind of putting them together like this, and then putting them in the center so that you have a rounded flower on top. Or you, well, why don't we just try that? Okay, so what we're going to do with this one is we'll just fold it in half like that. And I did not glue the middle this time, so that it kind of stays a little fluffier. And we're just going to kind of, see here. I'm going to put them together right there at the tip. And then I'm going to kind of just pinch, I just kind of folded that tip a little bit and kind of pinch it. Fill that out. Bring some glue up a little further. And I'm going to put one more on there. Like that. And this one, this part right here that I'm doing is not like it's not a science. I'm just kind of putting it together till it looks fluffy. So then I'm going to just kind of put this one on here like this. There, now that looks pretty fluffy. There we go. The two was not enough. And sometimes you have to look at it and don't be stingy. Go ahead and put that extra one on there. Now what I'm going to do, I'll put a little bit more glue up here because I want it to stay towards the center. I am going to, I glued them up that way. I'm going to cut that little tip off. Make sure that you've glued above where you're cutting so that it doesn't all fall apart. And then I'm just going to put some glue all around, even like the little, at the bottom, but the sides of the bottom, like this. Then put it in the center, kind of give it a little bit of a press. So, and now it's going to glue all the way around instead of just right at the bottom. And there we go. So now we have a carnation. that we can glue on any kind of a project, or we can use it for, you could use it for a corsage, you could use it for whatever. But I think that looks really cute. I like how that turned out. So we'll put that one over with our butterfly. Except that, oh, he's over here. Alrighty. Now this one that we were working on, we have a little bit of a background stamp there. And you can see we have a flower there. I'm going to put just a dot of hot glue on here. And then just give that a press. You want to press it down so the hot glue spreads out under the whole thing so that you kind of don't see it. And you can use any kind of glue to do this with. And so now we have this cute little flower, and what we can do with it is take a little bit of our double-sided tape that we got a couple weeks ago, and just put it right there in the center. Oh, I'm peeling up the tape. If you have a problem getting your tape, the top off of your tape, a needle or something with a little point on it usually works really good to help you lift that off of there like that. Because even though I have nails, I have a hard time trying to get it separated. So there we go, and then we're just going to take this and put it in right in the middle. Like that. And because the back has writing on it, you could glue on the back a solid piece of paper where you could write something. And then we're going to take our packaging, put this back in here, just like that. I'm going to cut it off. Now, if you use the whole packaging, you could just seal it back up again, but I don't want it to be that tall. And I'm going to snip off just maybe like a ½ an inch right here. And just take off just a little bit of that plastic so that I can put some of the sticky. If I were to have put the double-sided tape on there and then folded it over, this top piece would just lift up. So by taking that little bit off, I'm now going to put some double-sided sticky on the top piece, so when I fold it over, it actually will stick and nothing will lift up. Now I'm leaving this a little bit taller than, put this right up to the edge. I'm not going to fold it down tight over there. You can. I'm going to do it like that. And then I'm just going to fold this over just up here at the top, like that. And then what we can do is take a piece of pretty decorative paper. Hold on just one second. Would have been good if I would have brought the paper over here. And then we're just going to cut, oh, let's say this is right here is about a ½ an inch taller, so we'll go just over an inch. And then we're going to cut it as long as our bag, like that. Fold it in half. Like that. Then maybe we should put a stamp on there. And we'll put it on here. I was told to do that on one of the other videos where I forgot my block. And I can't say who said it because I think I know, but I don't want to say the wrong name. So it goes this way. And actually I'm going to do it this way so that I can see. hopefully this will work out okay. There we go. You make me smile. Always put the lid back on your stays on, especially because it will dry out fast. And then just take that and fold it over this top piece right here, like that, and put a little staple in it. And I have blue staples in my stapler, so we're going to staple it with a blue staple. There we go. So then it makes just a really cute little package for if you're going to sell something at a craft fair, if you're going to send it as happy mail or just send it as a little gift. You can do this with bigger packaging where you could put like maybe, like 6 of them on there that you've done up. But see, isn't that cute with the little stamped center in there, and just a nice cute little gift? Or you can make them bigger, like if you were to use this packaging, you could put maybe 5 of them up the center or something like that, or offset them like this and just use this packaging. So that's another thing you can do with your flowers. So you can fold them up and you can make butterflies with them. You can use them just like they are. If you want to put them on a card or in a journal or on some type of a project where you want them to be flat, and you can offset them and maybe layer just a few of them together and they'll still be flat. And then you could put even like a little button in the middle so that it would stay flat. So those are all the different types of things that you can do with these flowers. And I hope that you enjoyed today's video. I really enjoy playing with flowers. I haven't played with flowers in a really long time. And I really forgot just how much I enjoy doing it. And then again, don't forget, you can also put them over the edge of a page. You could also fold them in half. Oh, well, you can't fold these ones in half because they're 5 petals, remember? But you could fold this one in half. You could fold them in half and put them off the edge of a page like that also. So they would be just a little bit thicker. So you could put them on a page that way, or, well, let's just make this one stay the way I want it to. There. Now it has to listen to me. Like that. Or off the edge like that. So, thank you very much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. I hope that if you get some flowers that you play with them, you have a good time. Don't forget to save all of your little, all the little tubes that come with it so that you can play with those, because that would be real fun to play with too. Don't forget your string. And don't forget your little bits that you can make little tube beads out of. So for the price of this project, you can get, or for the price of what we paid for this, you can get a lot of projects out of it. So thank you very much again for stopping by. I really do appreciate you, and I hope that you all have an outstanding day. Bye-bye. Oh, wait, I almost forgot what we're going to need for next week. I did that last week. I almost did it again. Oh, and the reason that I bought the bling was because I was going to put some bling on some of the flowers. So that's another thing that you can do with them, is put bling on them. So for next week at the Dollar Tree, I picked up this fishing net, and I picked up one of these scrubbies that's made out of net. Also, like if you have an onion bag or a fruit bag or anything like that that's made out of net. So this is what I picked up for next week, and we're going to need some chipboard, like cereal boxes or anything like that. So I picked up these 2 things, so that's $2 for next week's project. And then some of the other bits that we just already have in our stash. So now, thank you very much, and I hope that you all have an outstanding day. Bye-bye.